Hello everyone, welcome to Life with Sada. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a little recap of my New York City trip, and I'm so excited because it's been long overdue and I still haven't been posting anywhere. I didn't really show anyone much of what we did and what we saw around New York, and so I'm really excited to show you guys this video and to finally put all of this together because this was honestly such a fun visit, and New York is just one of the not only most populated cities of America, but it's also one of the most historical cities of America. And so we decided to come out here and do a whole trip and just see what New York is all about. So here we are. We started out with visiting Central Park. It was really nice, but it wasn't as nice as I had expected it to be.
Take a video.
And the other thing too is that I just feel as if Central Park is so overrated. Like there are so many other parks around New York City area that I wish I had visited instead of Central Park, only because Central Park is crazy populated. I'm like zooming in around and you can see it's really, it is really nice, but there's just so many people all around you, and you honestly will never find space to sit or to even like walk around in some areas of Central Park because of how simply populated it is, and there's constantly these like trolleys and carts going around you. There's horses, which is really nice, but it can be kind of overwhelming because there's so many horses all around, but they were such a beautiful sight to see.
Hi guys, would like to try handicap go-kart. Can I give you information?
Okay,
now, if you ever visit Central Park, you definitely need to climb the rock area. It's a huge mountain type rock area that's in the middle of Central Park, about a mile down, and once you're there, you get the most beautiful views of the city. We stayed in New York for 7 days, and obviously visiting all the main attractions wasn't the only thing that we wanted to do. We also planned some time out to go shopping around the city, which I think is an absolute must. If you are in New York, you really need to get out into the shopping experience. There aren't too many malls, but there are really nice boutique shops over there. You will notice that the fashion houses of New York are just on a completely different level. The artistic side that you see in New York, even in these like big fashion houses, is completely different from like what you would see in other cities. And so it was really fun visiting these brands out in New York. We also visited the LV. We were here at Gucci, and we also later on visited Dior and Chanel, and I'm forgetting what other brands we visited. I know we also went to Bulgari. This is Coach right here, and we also saw Chapard. So a bunch of different stores. We basically spent a whole day, dedicated entire day to just go shopping and sort of window shopping and seeing everything that New York has to offer. Coach was kind of surprising in New York because I didn't really understand their pre-love section of Coach, which kind of steered me away from like wanting to buy something from Coach. And so you'll notice that Coach was also really artsy. They had some very cute artwork around, and they had a huge dinosaur along with a dog made with like complete leather handbags, which was really cool to see. So I would say, even in terms of like art, visiting these fashion brands is absolutely a must in New York because you get to see so much of a different world and different types of artworks all around these stores, which is really cool, and it's so nice to finally sort of experience all of that. Some of the most popular ways of getting around the city is obviously by taxis and subways and trains, but we thought, you know what, why not we get to a different part of the city by taking the ferry. So here we are at Pier 95. We chose to sit from Pier 95 because we wanted to take a view of the entire city from the ferry, and I can't wait to show you guys the breathtaking views that you get from this ferry. So here we go. We bought our tickets once we arrived, and very quickly we were able to get on our ferry, which was very exciting because we were about to see all of the upper and midtown Manhattan along with lower Manhattan, so it was really cool. And I really liked how there weren't too many people on our ferry ride either, so it was really nice and sweet. Here we are, enjoying the little takeoff.
बोट राइड पर है पूरा न्यूयॉर्क दिख रहा है देखे ये देखे
Assalamu alaikum.
देखे पूरी बोट राइड है देखे
The ferry rides also let you explore a lot of the architecture of the city from a completely different angle. And one thing that I really enjoyed was seeing the complete uniqueness of New York on its own. Like obviously there are so many other cities around the world, but New York is just very different in terms of structure.
देख रही है एम्पायर स्टेट हाँ खा लिया
कैसा था?
बड़ा ज़बरदस्त सब लोगों ने हलाल खाना एक तो गिरोज खाया है और एक चिकन कोफ्ता कबाब
जरा कह रही है कि तुम अकेले खा रहे हो।
ज़रा आई कितने मज़े के कोफ्ता कबाब
This right here was the Manhattan Bridge, which we crossed under, but my most favorite part of this entire trip was seeing the Brooklyn Bridge. I believe the architecture of Brooklyn Bridge and the beauty of the Brooklyn Bridge is unlike any other. I could even argue that's probably one of the best bridges in all of America, only because America isn't, as we all know, the number one when it comes to infrastructure. Obviously, other parts of the world have much better infrastructures, but this is one of America's best built bridges. The ferry ride took us straight down all the way to the financial district of New York, which was really nice, and from there we walked all the way towards Chinatown. We spent another day visiting the museums of New York. So here is the Met Museum. It's a really popular place. You really do have to schedule your time if you want to visit this museum, only because it can get so crowded really quickly. And it also closes really early. It closes around 5 p.m. So you do have to take that into account if you do want to visit the museums. But this was an absolute gem because there's so many amazing exhibits within this museum. Sean? Wow. We visited the World Trade Center twice. Once was actually accidental, and then the other time that we visited the World Trade Center was through the Penn Station, which is really, really nice. And as you can see, there's so many shops and stores around, but when we arrived, everything had already closed. And it was also pretty late. I think this was probably around like 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. at night. And so there weren't too many people around, but it was still kind of busy. We paid a visit to the memorial of 9/11. This is where they have a huge water fountain flowing at the old site to where the World Trade Center used to be, along with names on all four sides of the people who passed away during the horrific event. The Brookfield Place was also another fun visit. It is glowing with so much sunlight and sunshine all around. You're always going to be finding people here, mostly dining, and just, sort of going in and out. No one's really shopping around in this area, but it's kind of nice to see it. We were kind of surprised because we thought there would probably be more shops around, more places to visit, but unfortunately it was kind of small. And I think, to my understanding, it's sort of like a courtyard, I would say, that sort of connects different offices together within this like building. And so that was really interesting to see. Outside, though, there's a huge port side dining area, which was also really neat. And you obviously get the most stunning views of the Hudson River from the Brookfield Place. So definitely, if you're near the area, you should stop by to have some lunch around and then head out. Times Square is definitely more fun in the evening, and if you are here at Times Square, then definitely try out Junior's Cheesecake. I don't know the exact address, but if you put it in the maps, you'll find it, and it is one of the most best cheesecakes of New York. It's right in Times Square. We did so many things throughout New York City, but definitely one of the highlights was the Brooklyn Bridge. It was stunning, especially in the evening time. It did kind of start to rain when we got on the bridge, but it was so worth it. We didn't even care about the weather. We had some umbrellas on us, and we completely just walked the entire mile down the bridge. It was stunning. So breathtaking and beautiful to be on the bridge, especially in the evening time. It is so worth it.
Wow, you can see the entire Brooklyn skyline. Zabardast. Wow.
गाड़ी नीचे चल रही है.
Now, if you love Asian things, whether it's Asian foods or Asian toys, or whether it's the entire Asian lifestyle, Asian clothing, or even Asian skincare like Korean, Japanese skincare, then you will find everything and anything that you could possibly think of in the Chinatown area of New York. I'm not talking about the Chinatown in New York City. This is actually the main Chinatown of New York, which is more towards Flushing in Queens, and it is not only one of America's largest Chinatown, but it is also just packed with so many stores and good food and good things to try out all around. It was such a fun visit. It felt like we weren't in New York anymore. It felt like we were in some, I don't know, Asian town or something. It was cool. You could easily spend a whole day in Chinatown. There are stores upon stores and numerous malls throughout the entire area, along with so many places to eat, and obviously skincare, makeup, everything is there. This was just one of the stores that we visited, and it was flooded with all the Japanese and Korean skincare that you could think of. Not only like the more popular brands were there, but also more of like the lesser known brands were also available throughout, which is really cool because it's really hard to get your hands on things like this. And obviously the boba over here was some of the best boba that I have tried in all of America. We found a mall that was specializing in leather goods and fur products, and it was so cool finding these handmade mink jackets, which were, ranging between like five to $20,000, $30,000. But it was so cool seeing the material and seeing the different options that they have available. Shopping in Chinatown of Flushing is literally like shopping in a bazaar. So there's going to be products everywhere from the floor to the ceiling, even the basements. It's all flooded with products everywhere, and you can pretty much find anything that you're looking for. We somehow even stumbled upon a little food court, which was sort of like a mall because it was like 3-4 story building. They had office spaces upstairs and then a food court in between that was open for the public. So it's, a completely different experience from like the typical shopping that you would do out in, say, a major city. It's really, really different, but it is really fun and you get to explore a lot of Chinatown in a very new way. I couldn't make videos everywhere throughout New York, but I did try to create footage as much as I could of the places that we visited. Now, this isn't my most favorite city, but this definitely is a very eye-opening city. There's so many stories at every corner, and it truly was an amazing visit. So I hope I can come back someday, and I hope you all enjoyed. So bye for now.